Hey guys, let's have a look at this watch by Piaget for 2024. Now this is the Piaget Polo 79, and I actually believe that this is a watch that will do very well for the brand this year, not only because of its frankly quite stunning aesthetic, but also how it might introduce new collectors to the history and beginnings of the iconic Polo collection that most of us are either not aware of or have forgotten. Now, the first thing you'll realize when you look at this watch is that it has a distinctly retro vibe. And part of the clue comes in the name. Now, that is a very important clue because 1979 was when the first Piaget Polo watch was introduced. Looks familiar? Well, Yves Piaget, fourth generation member of the Piaget family, equestrian enthusiast, and current chairman of the brand, in 1979, had a request from his clients and the people he met regularly at various social events, in particular those who attended polo matches, and these clients requested a new watch from Yves. They wanted something that was sporty, waterproof, and shockproof, yet remained extremely elegant. Now you must remember 1979 was an era where the idea of a dress watch was still something small, gold, and on a leather strap. And the clients of Mr. Piaget, who attended the polo matches, wanted something that was more in theme with the sporty endeavors that they were watching. And so Piaget came up with this. And because the motivation for coming up with this watch came from polo, the new collection was called the Piaget Polo. Now, the Piaget Polo of 1979 had a very distinctive look. First of all, it came in full yellow gold on a bracelet and with these horizontal satin brushed gold elements alternating with polished gadrons, which are these convex curving surfaces that look like gold rods inserted into the case at uniform distances. Now, the new watch from 2024 takes the aesthetic of the 1979 in its entirety basically, but upgrades the formula in a slightly more modern way. The first thing to note is that the gold is 3N yellow gold instead of the original 2N, which gives the watch a slightly more pinkish hue, which is more in line with modern tastes nowadays. The size of the watch now is 38mm, it wears very well. The original came in a number of different sizes as well as case shapes. There's a square one, for example, but the largest of those were 34mm. So 38mm is a nice modern size, yet it's not too big. It still is what we would class as elegant for nowadays. The other major change from the original 1979 Piaget Polo is the fact that this one in 2024 has an automatic movement. If we have a look at the movement through the case back, we find that it's the 1200P1 automatic movement with a micro rotor. Now, if you remember, 1979 was round about the time when the quartz crisis was ravaging the Swiss watch industry, and at the time quartz was seen as something desirable because it represented what the future was all about. That's why the original Piaget Polos from 1979 and onwards all had quartz movements. The fact that the new one has a mechanical movement is actually a very, very nice touch. Now, this watch will be released in celebration of the 150th anniversary of Piaget as a watchmaking maison, and I think that it will see quite a bit of interest from collectors all around. Now, the first thought you might have when you're looking at this watch from Piaget is another watch that was released 2 years ago by Richemont stablemate Vacheron Constantin. That watch did something very smart and was totally in line with what people wanted. And what Vacheron Constantin did at the time was to bring back an icon from the past and modernize it for an audience of today. Now, Piaget is doing effectively the same thing, but I feel that it would be unfair to compare both, even though there is something similar in the sense that the motivations for the new watch come from a very similar period of time for both of them. I think this watch showcases what Piaget as a jeweler is good at, and you can see that in the very distinctive way that Piaget works with precious metal to create this very interesting case and bracelet. And on the wrist, at 38mm is a very comfortable size, and it's 180 grams, which is heavy enough to let you know that you're wearing gold, but not too heavy to make it onerous when you're wearing it for every day. In sum, I think this is a watch that will do very well. I believe the moment when news of this watch comes out, there will be a lot of buzz around it, and hopefully that will give a bit of a boost to Piaget's near-term future, given how these past few years Piaget has been a little bit quiet, so to speak. In any case, let me know what you think about the new Piaget Polo 79. I like it. What about you? Thank you and see you in the next one.